Greetings, my fellow fans of anime, and thank you for sticking around. I will tell you a story right now that will make you feel all kinds of emotions. Join me as I take you on an emotional roller coaster as we delve into the compelling story of My Happy Marriage, which is loaded with love, tragedy, and surprising turns. Get some tissues ready because we're about to go on an unforgettable adventure. A little girl named Mio lives at the center of the Saimori family, which is famous for the mystic and spiritual abilities passed down through the generations. Unfortunately, she does not possess any of these spiritual abilities, yet, her tenacity and spirit make up for her power's absence. Mio's mother passes away, and shortly after, her father, Shinichi, weds Kanoko, which is a tragic turn of events. Mio will now have a sister named Kaya as a result of this marriage. Mio is, alas, condemned to the position of a servant within her very own home. This is quite unfortunate for her. Her youth was marked by adversity and solitary experiences. Koji Tatsuishi, her best friend from childhood and the person whose feelings for her are so intense, is the only one who gives her reason to have hope. However, despite their love for one another, Koji's parents are looking for a more respectable partner for their son, therefore, their relationship is doomed to fail. When Koji announces his engagement to none other than Mio's sister, Kaya, all of the hopes and dreams of these star-crossed lovers are dashed to pieces. The level of irony is staggering. Mio's father sees her as a burden on the family and subjects her to what seems to be an unfair destiny. She is now wed to Kyoka Kudu, a soldier who is notorious for his nasty temper and has a long history of discouraging women from considering him as a prospective spouse. Koji gives in to his fate and accepts this unexpected turn of events, keeping his fingers crossed that Mio will find a way to flee her oppressive family. Mio makes the arduous journey to the distant Kudu estate, where she meets Yuri, Kyoka's servant. This causes Mio's heart to become heavy. Mio is taken aback by Kyoka's startling handsomeness when they meet for the first time, which comes as a complete surprise to her. However, there is a catch. Kyoka is visibly aggravated by her lack of self-esteem and the servile manner in which she conducts herself. Mio is comforted by Yuri, who reassures her that the stories she has heard about Kyoka's harshness are exaggerated. Mio struggles with uncertainty since she is haunted by memories of her father's callous indifference after realizing she does not possess Saimori's ghost sight. Imagine Mio's delight as she makes Kyoka's favorite breakfast, only to have Kyoka suspect that she is plotting to poison him. Mio's joy would be short-lived. Kyoka, who is frequently preoccupied with the responsibilities of his position as a soldier, departs to instruct his warriors, who are of a rare breed with magical talents, in preparation for their conflict with evasive beings known as grotescares. But is this danger present, or is it just a phantom from the past? While everything is going on, Koji moves into the Saimori home and quickly finds the confined space where Mio was once held captive. It must be quite difficult for him to bear this burden. After returning to the Kudu estate, Kyoka begins to become aware of Mio's repetitive apology behavior. In response to the pang of remorse that arises within him, he asks Mio to prepare breakfast. Mio is happy when Kyoka praises her food, even though she still has nightmares in which her father and Kanoko are abusing her. However, a sad and moving event causes the happiness to change into tears. The increasing confusion that Kyoka is experiencing prompts him to look into the Saimori family. In the meantime, tensions are rising in another location as Koji's father reacts angrily to the news that Mio has become engaged to Kyoka. Even though she does not have any spiritual powers, it is revealed that Mio and Yusuba's patriarch had previously agreed that she would marry his eldest son Kazushi because of her connection to the Yusuba family. Kyoka extends an invitation to Mio for the two of them to go on their very first date, which is a highly significant event. Mio, on the other hand, is clueless as to what she should do given her lack of experience in romantic situations and her desire to avoid causing any disruption. In the meantime, tensions are rising in other areas as Koji's father, who is furious about losing the precious Yusuba bloodline for his eldest son, Kazushi's future kids, plots with Shinichi. Shinichi is Koji's uncle and their ingenious plan is to have Kyoka turn down Mio, which will allow Kazushi to swoop in and seize her as his own. The unfortunate Kaya can overhear this scheme, and as a result, she becomes angered and skeptical of Koji's continued emotions toward Mio. But let's get back to our doomed couple already in love. Kyoka, ever the gentleman yet still enigmatic, places a covert order for a stunning sakura blossom kimono after remembering how Mio mends her garments. Mio, who is timid and trying to hide the fact that she does not have a spiritual gift, is given a comb by Kyoka, despite Yuri's assertion that receiving a comb represents an engagement. As Kyoka learns the results of his inquiry into the Saimori family, the plot begins to take on a more sinister tone. After discovering the evidence of their maltreatment towards Mio, he investigates further and finds out that she does not possess any spiritual magic and that she is related to the Yusuba family. But there is a twist that nobody saw coming. As soon as Kyoka discovers that someone is following him, he loses his temper and smashes countless shikigami. Our kind-hearted protagonist, Mio, consults with her friend Yuri over the selection of a present for her fiancé Kyoka. What could be more unique than something that was produced by hand? Mio chooses a kumihimo because she is aware that Kyoka frequently ties his hair with one of these. In return, Kyoka bestows upon Mio a protecting charm. This is a very thoughtful action on Kyoka's part. But please stay tuned, as an unexpected turn of events is about to take place. Mio runs into Kaya and Koji as she is out doing her shopping. It is possible to feel the mounting tension in the air. As Kyoka pays a visit to the Saimori residence and imposes his authority on the situation, he tells them if they do not apologize to Mio, they will receive none of the traditional rewards that are coming their way. The courageous warrior defends the honor of his lady love. Kaya, who is still a source of irritation for Mio, persists in her taunting right up until the point where she is hushed by the news that Mio and Kyoka are still engaged to each other. And when she finally does meet Kyoka in person, she, too, is taken aback by the gorgeous features he possesses. Yuri, the one who always has the best advice, tries to convince Kyoka that Mio requires his unconditional love. He extends an invitation to Mio's childhood friend Hana, who was a servant when she was growing up. Mio's eyes well up with happiness as a result of the kind act that was performed for her. Mio starts to put the puzzle together when she realizes that Kyoka must be aware of her entire past, including the fact that she does not possess any spiritual skills, yet he still wants to marry her. As she gives him the kumihimo, feelings of relief and excitement flood over him, and he promises to never turn his back on her again. But wait, the shadows of deceit loom as Koji's father, spying through shikigami, works furiously to break the growing love with a terrible plan involving Kaya. Mio's expression of pure joy can be seen when she gratefully receives Kyoka's gift of a stunning kimono. It is more than simply an article of clothing, it is a symbol of their growing trust in one another as well as their love. While this is going on, tensions are rising as Koji's father, who is furious at the prospect of his eldest son's future without the important Yusuba bloodline, is conspiring with Shinichi. Their plan is to allow Koji to marry Mio, which will set the ground for an exciting confrontation later on. Mio is taken captive after she forgets to use her protective charm, which exposes previously hidden information. When Koji investigates further, he finds out that his father is aware of Mio's mistreatment, which is an even more disturbing revelation. It is a betrayal that hits very close to home. The wrath of Koji causes him to release his powers, but he is ultimately beaten and restrained. Kazushi, however, appears out of nowhere to save the day. Koji is inspired to go and save Mio by his words, so he does so. At the very conclusion of the episode, Koji makes an impassioned appeal to Kyoka. The stakes are extremely high, the stress is almost unbearable, and the clock is running out of time. Mio is held back by the nefarious combination of Kaya and Kanako after she defiantly refuses to break off her engagement. Kanako gives her severe thrashing as a punishment for the fact that she has refused. Our protagonist is in a precarious situation, yet she is keeping a strong spirit despite her circumstances. Arriving suddenly like a typhoon, Kyoka and Koji take their places in the action. They are unrelenting in their determination, tearing down gates and destroying hurdles in their path, and we experience the intensity of the battle as they attempt to save Mio. The confrontation between Minoru's pyrokinetic strength and Kyoka's lightning strikes causes the residents to erupt into a raging fire, which causes Kyoka to suffer several lightning strikes. It is a moment that is simultaneously thrilling and relieving when Kyoka comes to Mio's rescue and saves her from Kaya's fatal clutches. Kyoka's cool demeanor contrasts nicely with Kaya's haughty attitude. The dramatic moment that occurs when Kuji chooses to save Mio despite her cruelty demonstrates his comprehension of Mio's feelings as well as his commitment to protect her from experiencing any further anguish. Even in her death, Kaya's story pulls at the emotional heartstrings of the audience. The Emperor's rage over the failure of the Tatsuishi family brings about a new decision that involves the Kudu family and Mio. This turns out to be a quite mysterious development. The stakes are getting higher, and the plot is getting more complicated. Mio finally opens her eyes and finds herself in a secure and familiar environment after receiving reassuring words from Kyoka. Both Yuri, who is cheering her return, can be heard almost audibly letting out a collective sigh of relief. This anime has been such a wonderful trip. It's the perfect combination of intense drama, heart-pounding action, and nail-biting suspense. As the story progresses, the characters mature and the narrative thickens, leaving us on the edge of our seats and begging for more. That exactly was the one that saved the day this time. What does the future hold? Please share your ideas, and be sure to check back here for other thought-provoking recaps. Thanks for watching. If this series is the most liked in my anime recap production, I will make a part 2. Also, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to help me make more content.